Hi, I'm Steve Behrman. You may know me as my cosmic comic alter ego, Swami Beyond Ananda, or you might recognize my name as co-author of the best-selling Spontaneous Evolution, a book I wrote with noted cellular biologist Bruce Lipton. In any case, my life so far has been an interesting and eye-opening journey, and I'm sharing that journey through a new book and multimedia project that I call Travels with Swami, a wiser guy's journey from new age to old age. Not that I'm that old. I just had the encouraging thought that I'm actually 10 years younger than I'll be 10 years from now, which is why now is the time to write this personal history that's not just about me and my adventures, but about the times we've lived in. And it's also an insider's view of the self-help, personal growth, and spirituality domain. Of course, there's also the political perspective. Yep, I was a political science major, although I never get to dissect a politician in poli-sci lab. In fact, after spending my deformative years in a housing project in Brooklyn, I landed in Washington, D.C. as part of the Urban Teacher Corps. A year later, I helped start an alternative high school that was featured in a cover article in the Washington Times and got the attention of Lyndon Johnson, who was then president. One of his cabinet members enrolled his daughter in my school, and he received a call from LBJ on the White House hotline, basically saying, "Take your girl out of that goddamn school." To his credit, he didn't do that. Well, then, after being laid off from my dream job, teaching auto workers at Wayne State University in Detroit, I took a job as a tree worker and I found my dream career, which was not tree work. I'm saving that story for the book. So, why should you care? And why should you help support this project? I'm glad I asked that question. So here's another question. Do you enjoy being entertained and informed at the same time? Do you like to learn while you laugh and laugh while you learn? Are you curious about the inside story of the New Age and personal growth movement over the past 40 years? Would you like a fresh perspective on where we've been as a world, as a civilization, and where we might be headed? Well, I've been cooking this retrospective for quite a while. However, it was our recent tour that Trudy and I took across the country that sealed the deal. Every place we went, we heard the same thing. Wow, what interesting adventures you had. You need to tell your story. Well, when we returned, it became obvious that this was a life change that my good friend Phil Moore calls rewirement, which is in contrast to retirement. It means shifting the focus and rewiring for another life phase. And just as surely as Trudy and I left our life as usual in Ann Arbor, Michigan, some 37 years ago to hit the road with our traveling Swami and Trudy show, I'm now shifting from spending most of my time as a stand-up performer to being a sit-down writer. Years ago, my good friend Bill Kauth, who is founder of the Mankind Project, told me a story, and I've always remembered this story. It was at a time in his life he was at a transition, and he was looking to take the time to write a book. He told a friend, and the friend suggested that Bill set up what he called a sabbatical fund to support him while he developed his new work. His friends contributed, and that kept Bill in the pocket so he could be free to create the next phase of his life. So, having never taken a sabbatical and being able to count the weeks I've had of actual vacation that wasn't related to some kind of work on one hand, maybe this is finally the time. So I'm humbly and audaciously asking for your support in getting this project off the ground and into the air. Whether you make a one-time generous contribution or opt for monthly support, you'll be acknowledged on Swami's Wall of Fame and in the book. You'll become part of this journey, along with getting bi-weekly installments in the form of short, digestible vignettes. You'll have exclusive access to Swami's bi-monthly Zoom shows, Swami Beyond Ananda Wanted for Questioning, and you'll have access to archival material that's no longer commercially available, as well as audible versions of each posting. So you'll be able to hear me as well as read the book. You'll also have access to surprise videos, audio files, and photos as we uncover and produce them. Of course, at the end, you'll get a personally autographed copy of the book when it comes out. Anyone who contributes $1,000 or more or becomes a patron at the $100 a month level can have the Swami zoom into their living room for an up-close and personal performance, or have the Swami do a Zoom event to benefit your favorite cause. We call that feeding two birds with one scone. So, if you've enjoyed the Swami's cosmic comic perspective over the past decades and want to see this legacy work realized, please become part of it by becoming a Patreon supporter now. As the Swami would say, go ahead, patronize me. Thanks in advance, and may the farce be with you.